Hey, welcome back. Make sure you're watching these 4 videos in order. This is video number 2. And at the beginning of the video, I want to make sure that you're already actually downloading the Get Your Free Sample Deal package. So go down, click that, make sure that it's downloading because you're going to need that at the end of this video. Okay, so today, or in this video, we're actually talking about how can you raise money legally. All right, so well, basically there's 2 ways to raise money legally. And I need you to be able to have this in your mind. So get this definition pretty well. You want to know this stuff, all right? There is Regulation D, which has 2 main ways that most syndicators like myself and you are going to use when actually putting the deals together. You're either going to put a private placement memorandum together that utilizes Reg D 506B or Regulation D 506C. All right. So there's 2 main ways. Now let's talk about what they are and what they mean. The 506B, as in boy, is you being able to raise money legally, private placement. It's a PPM, a private placement memorandum, but it's very similar to going public. But this is the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, allowing you to do this on a smaller scale. So you don't have to go through the costs of becoming a public company. And they allow you to raise money from your friends and your family. But if you do, you cannot what's called generally solicit. All right, which means you can't let somebody into your deal unless they're your friend or your family, somebody that you've had a prior relationship with. I hope that makes sense. So the 506B means you can raise money from your friends and family, but nobody in that deal is allowed to be somebody that you don't know. All right, so the 506C, as in cat, allows you to generally solicit, but everybody who comes into the deal has to be accredited. All right. What is accredited? It means that they make $200,000 a year, and they have done that 2 years in a row with a reasonable expectation of doing it this year too. Or if they're married or just filing jointly, that they made together 300,000 2 years in a row and have a reasonable expectation of doing that again. That would make them accredited. So it's either 200 by themselves or 300 together, or they are worth $1 million except for their primary residence. So this could be stocks, bonds, mutual funds, pensions. It could be cash. It could be equity in other properties, and it could be their 401k, their IRA. But what doesn't count is their own house's equity. Yes, their rentals do count, but their own primary residence doesn't. All right. I hope that makes sense. So the 506C, as in Charlie, allows you to be able to raise money, and actually you could put it on your Facebook. You could put it on your, you could do a YouTube, a podcast. You could send out direct mail. You could put it on anywhere you want, but you can only raise from accredited investors. Okay, 506B, you can have any accredited investor you want as long as they're your friend or your family, but up to 35 of them can be unaccredited. All right, sophisticated, unaccredited, but they don't have to be accredited millionaires or making a bunch of money. They're allowed in your deals. I hope that makes sense. Now you kind of understand that. So now let me tell you, what do you need to watch out for? Anybody needs to watch out for somehow crossing through. Well, one thing, watch out for saying a 506D. Don't say that. A lot of people make the mistake. It's a Reg D, 506B or 506C. All right, you want to watch out for that, but you also want to watch out for anyone who's out there generally soliciting and then tells you that they're allowed to have 35 unaccredited investors. Because from what I just told you, if you were taking notes, you know for a fact that they're breaking an SEC law. They're breaking a securities law, and the Securities and Exchange Commission is able to get them in trouble. They could go to jail. You don't want to do it. I should have maybe said this at the beginning. I'm not a securities attorney. I'm just a syndicator. So I raise money. So I'm very familiar with this. And I got most of this information from my personal attorney. And if you want me to put you in touch with her, I will, I can, I'd be happy to. All right. So now we're going to talk about when you're raising money for somebody else's deal. So you're really not supposed to raise money for somebody else's deal. You really should do one of two things. Either you have what's called a Series 7 license, which allows you to raise money for someone else's deal and get paid for it, or you have to be a part of the deal. So let's just say that you wanted to be a money raiser, but you didn't want to do any of the other parts that my company does. We would be able to pull you in, you raise the money, and you are pulled in on the general partnership. You own the 160 doors that we're closing next month. You're a part of that. You own it. Now it's your deal, and you raise money for your own deal legally. So long as you have a prior relationship with them, you get along with them, and you're following the SEC laws that I've shared with you already, and taking direction from our securities attorney, Jillian. Next, I want to talk about the sample deal package. Now that you know how to do this legally, and that you can't just be going up in front of a meetup group and saying, I want to raise your money, knowing that it would be a 506B, which is 90% of the time people use the B, which is a friend and family. Only 10% of the time are they using all the other strategies, which is a 506C and a Reg A and all these other things. We could go down into a rabbit hole. But when you have a sample deal package, you need to know who you can bring this to. So when you understand if you're doing a C or a B, now you understand who can you bring this to. And if you can bring it to your friends and family who are not even accredited, great. Now you understand. Now I want you to be able to use this sample deal package, which hopefully you've already downloaded. Hopefully it's already ready already. Or make your own sample deal package. It's fine. Let me tell you what is involved. What are the key points of a sample deal package? And then I'll let you go to video number 3, the key points to a sample deal package. These are usually 3 to 5 pages. It's always going to be a property, generally a real property. Whether or not you have it under contract, that's not the point. A sample deal package means it's just a sample. So it's pretty much that you don't have this under contract. The one that I gave you is one that I already closed on. All right. So first off, it's a real property. You got all the numbers. You have a title page. You have an executive summary. You have some financial projections and some returns that your investors are likely to make. You're not promising returns, but you're showing them what the projections would show. And then in addition to the title page, executive summary, the financial projections, and the investor returns, you're going to have the bio, your team bios. Okay. So it's not just your bio. It's okay if you haven't yet done a deal. That's totally fine. Even I've done several deals and I actually bring in team bios because I want other people that have even more credibility than me. And you want people that have even more credibility addition to you to be on there. So you might use your mentor or coach. You might use yourself. You'll be on there. You'll say what you have done, what your vision is, where you went to school. You'll put maybe your attorney, your syndication attorney, your real estate attorney, and you'll use anyone else that you can. So if you're raising money for me, and I'm not pitching that to you, I just want you to be able to know that this is something that you can do, is if you're raising money for a group and you're coming in on the general partnership, you should be using their bios too. Okay. So if you were raising money with my company and becoming part of the ownership, I want you to be able to use my bio, the hundreds of doors that I've closed, the hundreds of people that I've interviewed on my podcast. And that way it can add to your credibility. I want you to put your attorney on there or my attorney on there. I want you to have your mentor or my mentor on there, because the more credible people that are on your bio within your sample deal package, the better it's going to look to your passive investor who's looking at your opportunities. All right, so that is quite a bit enough for today. Not for today, because actually I want to bring you into video 3 right away. So in video 3, let me talk to you about what you're going to learn, which is how to position yourself. So this is going to be kind of a position yourself 101. I'm not going to get into super detail because I want these videos to be like 5-10 minutes. But we will talk about how to start a podcast and how to get your name out and how to bring attention toward you. I'll talk to you about a little bit about social media and give you some ins and outs on how you can better do that for yourself. So without further ado, go right over to number 3, which I guess is this way. Go up to number 3 and I'll see you there. Thank you. Bye.